Hi traders, in today's video I'm going to address a few reasons why I think you would be nuts not to learn Pine Script. If you're on the fence about diving into this new world, or you've never heard of Pine Script before, then today's presentation will shed some light on the value of acquiring this new skill and enhancing your edge and setting yourself apart from those traders who do not have this rare and specialized weapon in their trading arsenal. Here are 5 reasons why I think learning Pine Script is a good idea. Number 1, it helps you to systematize parts of your trading process. Learning how to script parts of your trading process helps you to be able to define your trading process with clear, concise, and objective rules. When you tell a script to do something, you need to be extremely clear in what you're telling it to do. Many traders cannot objectively define what it is they're looking for in the markets. This often leads to inconsistent outcomes in their trading as a result of inconsistent actions. By systematizing parts of your trading process, we can remove some subjectivity and uncertainty that we might experience when analyzing a chaotic and oftentimes random market. Reason number 2, learning to script allows you to automate parts of your trading process entirely. This includes automation of parts of your analysis. It includes detecting setups that you like to trade and generating alerts so that you can stay on top of the markets. And once you get good enough at scripting, it can even allow you to automate your trade execution on some of your simpler strategies. Learning to code can also save you a lot of time in the backtesting process and during your live analysis throughout the day. For example, when I'm day trading, I usually don't need to sit and stare at the charts all day. I can set up alerts and scripts that can detect the market conditions I'm looking to trade and the setups that meet my rules for my strategies, and I can be sure that I will always be notified when a setup is detected. This allows me to also avoid any missed opportunities. I can't remember the last time I missed a trade because I didn't see it. Coding your own trading scripts is like having a second pair of eyes on the markets that never miss a beat. Reason number 3, learning how to code can significantly enhance your edge over the markets. If you don't already have an edge over the markets that is profitable, scripting can help you to build one. Most traders who can't find a profitable approach to trading usually don't have a consistent strategy or an objective method of approaching the markets. As I mentioned in reason number 1, learning to script and automate and systematize parts of your trading process allows you to define your trading process with clear rules. You can then backtest those rules or forward test those rules and collect the relevant statistics to determine whether or not what you are doing is profitable over time. And if you've already gone through that process and you have a profitable strategy or approach to trading, be that rules-based, like I'm talking about here, or completely discretionary, where you trade mostly on experience, feel, and pattern recognition, you can still use scripting to help enhance your trading process. In my personal trading, my scripts do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to setup detection and just generally staying on top of the markets at all times and never missing anything important. Learning to code in general when it comes to trading is a win-win. Whether you're not profitable yet or you are profitable, there is always something to be gained out of learning how to code your own trading scripts. And as you'll see later in this presentation, I'll make a great case for why learning Pine Script in particular is a better option than any of the other languages that you could choose from as a beginner programmer. I myself have been programming for over 15 years in all kinds of languages, from Java to Python to C++, PHP, HTML, all of them. And I have still fallen back on Pine Script being my main trading language purely for its simplicity and the power that it allows me to have with such a small cost in time and development. But we'll come back to that later. Reason number 4 for why you should learn Pine Script is so that you can remain competitive and on the cutting edge of trading. Automation in general in our world is only going to increase over time. Completely automated self-driving cars are only years away. Driving a car might seem simple on the surface, but when you think about how much interpretation and subjectivity is involved in analyzing what decision to make when you're on the road. It's remarkable how far technology has come, and the fact that we can now automate something that typically requires so much human discretion. Automation in trading is also only going to increase over time, which is not good for those of you who do not learn how to code. Trading is an extremely competitive industry. One way to stay ahead of your competition and beat them is by leveraging your rare and specialized skills. And coding is one of the most powerful of all when it comes to trading. All the best traders in the world use some form of automation and scripting in their trading process. I'm talking the big dogs, the multi-millionaire traders, the hedge funds, the prop firms, all of them, without exception, use some form of automation and scripting and coding to fully exploit every advantage their edge gives them in the markets. And those who don't use automation in their process are trading at a significant and unnecessary disadvantage. And the final reason why I think learning Pine Script is a great idea for all traders, retail and professional, is because it is by far the easiest coding language for traders to learn, especially if it's your first language. Now, I'm not saying that Pine Script is the best language to learn when it comes to trade automation and analysis. The best language would probably be something like Python. However, Python is exceptionally difficult for a beginner trader to learn and time consuming. I've been learning how to automate some parts of my process through Python over the past year or two, and when I compare it to Pine Script, it's unbelievably convoluted. Now, the payoff for that is that you can leverage some extremely powerful tools in Python. However, it can take you years to learn how to properly utilize a language like Python. Then, of course, there's the MetaTrader language, MQL, but this language, let me tell you, is definitely not beginner friendly. I personally have been finding it easier to learn Python than MQL. Now again, MQL is more powerful than Pine Script and allows you to do some complex things that Pine Script cannot do. But the cost of time to learn this language is not insignificant. And then finally, there are other languages out there like Java, which was the very first language I ever specialized in, and I got quite proficient with that language. But it took me years and years to master that language. And even though I'm still really proficient with that language, I still prefer to use Pine Script when it comes to automating parts of my trading process, purely due to the incredible simplicity of the Pine Script language. The fact that it's cloud-based and runs on TradingView servers. I don't need to have virtual private servers running or computers in my house. I don't need to worry about development environments and APIs and libraries and all of that complex stuff that just adds layers and layers of complexity to your coding projects. When it comes to Pine Script, everything's in your browser, everything is run on the TradingView platform, and you can turn off your computer and still have your scripts running 24/7 on their servers so that you never miss a beat in the markets. You can have your second pair of eyes watching price action 24/7 on crypto, stocks, forex, commodities, futures. It doesn't matter. Pine Script can handle it. Now, as I mentioned in point number 4 on remaining competitive and on the cutting edge, all of the best traders in the world make computers an ally. Here you can see Mike Bellafiore from S&B Capital, one of the most successful and well-known proprietary trading firms in New York. He has personally mentored dozens of traders and taken them from struggling to top dog 7-figure and beyond traders who turn millions to tens of millions of profits in the markets each and every year. And as Mike said during an interview a few years ago, he strongly advises any aspiring trader to learn to code. He says, custom filters built with code help you make more as a trader. Automated models built in code can supplement your discretionary trading. Our junior traders all build their own filters and models through Python. And if it's important to a prop trader, then it should be important to you. Whether you're a retail trader, a hobbyist trader, or a professional trader, these guys are your competition. You don't need to be on their level of skill in order to be a profitable trader, but you better try and utilize the same tools as them if you want to remain competitive. But as I said earlier, Python may not be the best choice for you to learn as your first language if you're a beginner programmer, and it may not even be the best choice if you're an experienced programmer but you're new to trading. I don't see any reason why learning Pine Script first is not a good idea, no matter what your level of skill in programming or in trading. Plus, it's completely free, so you have nothing to lose. Whatever you learn in Pine Script can only help you to become a better coder in any other language you choose to pursue, even if that is Python down the line. But first, let's look at an example of what we would have to do in Python to achieve something that is actually extremely simple in Pine Script. Here I have an example of the steps involved in getting an RSI overbought or oversold signal in Python. So imagine we want to get an overbought or oversold signal in Python and then generate an alert. The first step is we need to connect our script to a broker's data feed API. Straight away, the advantage of using Pine Script is that all of that is inbuilt into the platform. You don't need to connect to your broker's data feed to get price sources. It's all right there at your fingertips in the TradingView browser, and you can access the open, high, low, and close data with a single line of code. To do the same thing in Python would require hundreds of lines of code, if not thousands. Step number 2, we need to observe the last 14 closing prices of a market. Step number 3, we need to determine whether the current day's closing price is higher or lower than the previous day. This is the algorithm for the RSI indicator. Step number 4, we need to calculate the average gain and loss over the last 14 days. Step number 5, we need to compute the relative strength, which is the average gain over those 14 days divided by the average loss. The next step is we need to compute or calculate the relative strength index, which is done by subtracting 100 from 100 divided by 1 plus the relative strength value. And then 7, the final step, we need to detect when the RSI value exceeds 30 or 70. In Python, you would need to do all of this manually. In Pine Script, this is all done for you in a single line of code using an inbuilt function, which we'll get to in a moment. But next, let's look at what we would need to do in order to generate an alert to your phone whenever these conditions are met. This is just getting the signal. Now we need to send that signal to our phone. So to keep things simple, quote unquote, I'm going to focus on sending an email notification to our phone rather than a push notification, which adds a whole new layer of complexity to this process. The first thing we need to do is set up a SMTP server or an email server. Then we need to connect our script, our Python script, to that mail server and authenticate ourselves. Then we need to create a MIME multi-part message object and load it with appropriate headers for the from, to, and subject fields. Then we need to add our message text body to that object. And then we need to send the message using the SMTP server object. If you understood everything I just said, then you're going to find Pine Script incredibly easy to learn. But if none of that made sense to you, then you're definitely in the right place. Before we continue, let me just quickly show you what some of my simple Python scripts look like before we go and look at some Pine code. Here's a script that does something extremely simple and might not look like it, but all this script does is test a bunch of different moving average crossover strategies. Now, I don't trade MA crossovers in my own trading. This was purely a learning experience for me, just to attempt a simple strategy test in Python. And even though this is a simple test, look at how much code is involved in just getting some price data. This is just retrieving price data from the Oanda API, my broker's API. And then I have a bunch of files here that handle my instrument data, symbol data. And as you can see, I have several files here and several dozens of lines of code, which although is very powerful and I can achieve some awesome things with Python that Pine Script cannot do, such as complex analysis of patterns in the data. If I just want to detect a very simple RSI overbought or oversold signal, my script would look just as long and complex as this, if not worse. Now, let's compare doing the exact same thing in Pine Script. So the first step is I want to declare the RSI value and get it from the inbuilt Pine Script RSI function. This alone eliminates the first 6 steps of doing the same thing in Python. The second step is we need to check if that value is above 70 or below 30. And then the third step, we need to simply send an alert through TradingView to our phone, to our email. We can pop up a message on our charts, we can play a sound, and we can achieve any of these or all of these with just a single line of code. This is what our script would look like in Pine Script. So if you ignore the first line of code, which is just telling the Pine Script editor or compiler which version of the language we want to use, and 4 is the latest version, the next 4 lines of code achieve everything we need in order to send an alert to our phone or to our computer as soon as the RSI exceeds 30 or 70. As far as programming goes, you cannot get any more simple than this. Now don't worry if there's anything you see there that doesn't make sense to you. By the end of the basics course, or especially the mastery course, all of this will make perfect sense to you. But in today's presentation, I just want to demonstrate the simplicity and the elegance of Pine Script compared to other more advanced programming languages. This is the benefit or advantage of having a domain-specific language. In this case, Pine Script is custom built to do one thing and one thing only, and that is analyze price data. There is a multitude of inbuilt functions and tools that Pine Script give us that allow us to dramatically speed up the analysis process. Quite frankly, I think you'd have to be crazy not to learn this language if you've got the time and the interest. It can help you enhance your edge. It's easy to code. It could not be any easier to code. And it's cloud-based, meaning everything is handled remotely. There's no complex server setup required. You don't need to run your scripts on your home computer like you might with MetaTrader or any other automated platform. All of your code and scripts are saved on the TradingView servers, so if you say you write a script at home and then you go to work at your office and you want to play around with it there, you don't have to use USBs or upload files or anything like that. You simply open up your TradingView charts, click on the Pine editor, and all of your code and scripts and projects are saved on the TradingView platform, ready to be accessed in your browser. Just for reference sake, here is every script I've ever written in Pine Script to help me do all manner of things when it comes to analyzing price action in various markets, including fully automating certain strategies like I've done with my pullback strategy and other simple strategies that I've developed. And if I want to edit my script or apply it to my chart from anywhere in the world, from any computer, any device, all I need to do is come up to the indicators list, click on my scripts, find the relevant script I want to work with, click on that, and then just open up the source code by clicking on this button here. And here is the source code to my script. I can edit this on any computer, anywhere, anytime. I can leave it running 24/7 on the TradingView servers, and it will generate alerts, detect trading setups. In this particular script's case, it can even fully automate my trade execution through a third-party API. That's a more advanced application of Pine Script, but as you can see here, this script is detecting a certain setup that occurs during a certain time of day on a certain market, and over the past several years has had a greater than 60% win rate. All of that detected in code, no subjectivity, no discretion required. It's black and white. Either I have a signal or I don't. I know that this has an edge. I know that this is profitable. I know that my code doesn't lie. I've double confirmed all of this through manual backtesting and trading this on a live account for several months. And thanks to Pine Script, all I need to do is either click a few buttons and set up my automated alerts, or if I want to manually trade this, I just wait until I get my notification that a trade is set up. I come into my office, I draw out my trade opportunity or my setup, my stop loss and take profit. I right click, click create limit order, put in my risk, click the sell button, and my work is done for the day. It's my personal belief that any trader who does not know how to write their own scripts, whether that be in Pine Script or Python or any other language, is trading with one hand tied behind their back. It's completely unnecessary. Learning to code is easier than you might think, especially if you've never written a line of code before. It's certainly no more complex than dealing with a spreadsheet in Excel, and any trader of any level of experience should at least know how to handle a simple spreadsheet. If you can handle a simple spreadsheet, then you can learn how to write Pine Script. I can guarantee that. If you're interested in learning more, go to pinescriptmastery.com and sign up to my free basics course. Stop trading with one hand tied behind your back and take your trading to the next level. It would be my honor and pleasure to be the one to help guide you through the learning process when it comes to Pine Script. I have over 4 years of experience with this language. I have over 2 years of experience in consistently profitable trading. And with those two facts combined, I think I'm uniquely positioned to be the perfect person to teach you how to write your own scripts in Pine Script. I've already had thousands of traders go through my basics course, which is completely free, and I've had hundreds of traders go through my mastery course and really take their coding and trading to the next level. If you're interested in that, you can come to this page here and read through the reviews. Every trader who has finished the course has gone on to do great things with their trading and their coding. I rarely receive any negative feedback for the course, and when I do, normally I just record a lesson on whatever it is that student is struggling with, especially if it's a concept that I overlooked or missed in the course content. But the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Everyone who's gone through it, from beginners, total beginners at trading and coding, to professional traders, including one trader who I won't mention his name, who runs a world famous stock trading course where they teach traders how to navigate the stock market using rules-based strategies and approaches. He went through the course so that he could create his own proprietary indicators to give out to his students. But all I can say is that I haven't had a single student who completed the course regret taking the course, and some of them have gone on to achieve amazing progress both in their trading and in their scripting. And I'm constantly impressed with what some of my students are able to achieve. Trading can be a lonely game, especially when you're a solo retail trader like I am. I spend the majority of my day doing nothing, sitting on my hands, waiting for the next trading opportunity that meets my rules to appear. That's why I started this course. I get a kick out of teaching people. I'm told I'm good at it, but I'll let you be the judge of that. And so in my spare time, this is what I do. I teach people how to write their own scripts and do the same thing I do when it comes to automating and systematizing parts of my trading process through the elegance and the convenience of code. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today's presentation. I hope I've convinced you to at least take coding seriously and to go and pursue it. I don't care if you take my course. I don't care if you buy anything from me. I don't care if you sign up to my free course. I would appreciate it if you're watching this on YouTube, if you hit the subscribe button, because that does help boost my channel, and it's good inspiration for me to continue learning and exploring new concepts to come and teach you guys. But really, all of this is just a work of passion for me. It's something I do for fun, and I really hope to inspire other traders to see what I see in coding when it comes to utilizing it in your trading as a tool. That's all I have for you today. Make sure to check out my blog at theartoftrading.com if you're interested in general trading advice and wisdom and insights from someone who's been there, who's struggled from the beginning horribly. I was a horrible trader when I first began, and I still have a lot left to learn, but at least I've made it over the hump of blowing accounts, and I'm finally moving up and to the right. If you want to learn some of the things that I learned along the way, check out my blog for that. You can also check out my new podcast where I basically read my articles that I've written over at thetradingpodcast.com. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. I have a Twitter account, which I created a bot in Java, which tweets out my favorite trading quotes every day, twice a day. It sends out a trading quote for inspiration and motivation to any of you traders out there who need that. You can find that account at Trade Wisdom over on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and now I'm out. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your time. Stay passionate, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck with your trading. Good luck with your coding. Take care, and goodbye.